Okay, I got green orbs, so it looks like my mic's working. Hello. Okay, let's try it again. You know, I don't want to fucking do that all night, though, for God's sakes. Keep getting out and getting back in. But, it looks like everything's working so far. I don't see anything. I got fucking 5 bars on my computer, so my Wi-Fi is fine. I don't know if I'm just getting fucked with here or something. I see like somebody's on now. If you could say hi or something, man, I'd really. Oh, hey, mate, I can dig that. Look at I'm messing up my hair, scratching my fucking head. Well, here, I'll try it. I'll try it. Poop. Oh, there we go. Kyle. It's a me, Mario. What is that? What is that a what is that, Steel? Finger, what is that? I don't know. I don't know what that is. An apple? A white apple. Is it a thumbs up? Oh, it is a thumbs up. Okay. God damn it. Sorry. So anyway, okay, we're operating. Joey, Kyle, thanks for uh-oh, the Illuminati, there they come. All right. Um yeah, so I'm gonna get back to what I was saying, because I just kind of want to lay this out, and this is how I saw a lot of the second half of the Browns game. And this is it's not something I'm not thinking out of the box or anything like that. I'm just kind of thinking this is how I felt a couple of days after the game, going through the game in my head, and how easy it would be. Um, how you doing, T? Thanks for chiming in, brother. Um, and I don't want anybody to think in any way that I'm bashing the Seahawks, because I don't think that Russell Wilson and the refs are, paying each other on the side or anything like that. And everybody knows who Russell Wilson is and how talented he is. But if I'm not mistaken, when I was doing the live stream a little bit before the half, I was talking about how well the game was refed, and if you guys haven't watched any of the other stuff I said in the video right before this, before my shit just petered out, I don't necessarily want to rehash it. But I did say that before the half, I thought the refs were doing a pretty good job. It wasn't that bad. The second half, though, I noticed some very strange things. There was some strange calls, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the Seahawks were kind of falling flat on offense, and our defense was stopping them. And then here comes these ticky-tacky calls and marches them right down the field. And this is where I'm going to bring analytics in. Anybody that watches quarterbacks, that knows quarterbacks percentages and stuff like that, good quarterbacks are from 60 to 70% completion rate. I mean, that's you guys probably agree with that if you guys know quarterbacks and their percentage rates. How quarterbacks that are good perform, they're going to stick between this 60 and 70%, or you're going to fail, basically. Mullins, how you doing, brother? Welcome. How you doing, buddy? Like I was just saying, in case you missed what I said, Mullins, a good quarterback's going to stay between 60 and 70%. And my theory kind of is it's almost a team thing too. A good defense is going to stop you like 7 times out of 10 or something like that. And I don't have any numbers right next to me, but a good defense is going to stop you most of the time. So, sorry, I'm talking and my nose is buzzing and I have to keep wiping my fucking schnoz. So give me a second here. So my point is, what I did see in the Seahawks games, I saw the Seahawks petering out, and our defense was playing them well. And I have to recall that quite a few times I talked about how well our secondary was playing, how Wilson would have to throw it out of bounds and stuff like that. And he did throw it out of bounds because he didn't have anything. And a lot of his offenses in the second half were petering out. And here come these ticky-tacky calls and marching right down into the red zone. And this is where my analysis comes from analytically. So they were petering out. So failing, eventually he's not going to fail. If you help this dude along, and Russell Wilson doesn't need any help, he's a great fucking, he's one of the best, probably a Hall of Fame quarterback, If you help this dude along and you march him into the red zone, he's going to fucking score on you. It's almost an analytical certainty. And that's what I'm talking about with this, the 60 to 70%, this 2/3. You know what I mean? Petering out. So what happens? Their offense stalls, and the refs literally march them down the field with ticky-tacky calls. Put him in the red zone, and he scores. So what happens to us? So our defense was getting penalized while they were flat. And I don't know if anybody can pull out some video and prove that our defense was the reasons that they were petering out is because we were causing penalties. I would love to see it, and I'll recant everything that I said. But this is what I was saying. Our defense was getting into their shit. We were playing really well, and the defense was being called very well. Okay. Of course, they get marched down, and this happened in 2 of their series. They marched down and scored, despite petering out initially in their offense and probably going to have to punt or something like that. And this happened twice in the second half. And here comes the Browns, who is actually doing very well, but got some offensive calls, some more ticky-tacky calls. And this is where my 66%, 33% analytics comes in, And I'm going to march off this, and I'm going to retract, or not retract, but I'm going to go back a little bit to the touchdown, the Jarvis Landry touchdown, which we all know, if you were watching the game, was a touchdown. And we would only know that because Freddie did a challenge flag. So I'm going to bring Freddie into this with my hand. He's a big fella. I guess I probably have to, Anyway, so Jarvis Landry has the ball, crosses the plane, and then fumbles. And the refs call it a fumble forward. It's not a touchdown, and they put it on the 1 with the back of the ball on the 1, okay? Which is a little weird, So we have to try again. So we run our next play. Chubb runs in, but Freddie saw that it was a touchdown already and threw the challenge flag. So we got in twice. Everybody knows we got in twice if you watch the game. Chubb just runs right in off the right side, which is Cush, which everybody fucking rags on. Us Browns guys. Hates the line now, So he runs it right in, but it doesn't count because Freddie called a challenge on the last play. So they review it, and they show us that it was a touchdown, and they don't overturn it. All right, so there's your 66% right there. And this is the analytics that I'm talking about. And this happened to us a lot in a lot of our series. They do a little dink to Chubb, and he'd be going to get a first down. And here comes that flag. Before you know it, it's it's 1st and 20, 1st and 25, or And this started really happening in the second half. And Russell, like I said, Russell Wilson does not need help, man. He does not need help. Why this dude got it, I don't know. I don't know if it's gambling. I don't know what spread the game was or anything like that. But we should have won that game. And before you know it, and I think this explains away a lot of the Bakeman's bad play also, is a lot of our good plays are being taken back, and it gives us the opportunity to fail, basically. And nobody does a perfect game. Tom Brady has bad plays too. What's Tom Brady's percentage rate right now? I'm pretty sure it's not 70%, because I think Russell Wilson is actually the only one that had like a 70% percentage rate in pass completions, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard a 70% somewhere. So in a time when our defense was stuffing them and playing very well, they gave him more opportunities. And every time you give this dude an opportunity, because he is one of the best in the leagues, he's eventually going to fucking slit your throat, you know? And that's basically what happened to us in this game. And that wasn't the first game. It happened in the Rams game at home. It happened in the Titans game at home. The Titans game was 20 penalties, man. The Browns had 20 penalties. And if you didn't watch the game, you're going to be like, oh, those Browns and their penalties, and Freddie sucks because he can't get all these guys together to do the right thing. How many of those 20 penalties were like real penalties that really affected the fucking game? Does anybody? I would like to see a video on that. If I was smart enough, I would do it, but I'm not. And I'd love to eventually do that. But the refs literally handed the Titans that game with 20. I don't even know how many they had. It doesn't even matter. You got 200 yards in penalties. I mean, that was an ass fucking right there by the refs, if I've ever seen one. The Rams game was another one we should have won. And kind of the same thing, you know. It always seems like our good plays were petered out by, see, I did peter out. So you would successfully run these plays, and then they would get recanted. You know, you'd get a flag. And eventually you're going to run. You're going to hit that third. You're going to hit that bottom third of your stats. And this has kind of been happening to us all year. The best games that we had refed, and like I said, I could be wrong, but they weren't terribly refed games, were the Ravens game and the Jets game. And we didn't particularly play well with the Jets. You know, what's his name? Greg Williams had some pretty good defense that was confusing the shit out of us, you know. So it was only 24-3 or whatever the score was, and because they really gave us a pretty good game, you know. And you had that back and forth, a little volley with Greg, so there was a little animosity before the game too, which made it a pretty cool, tough game. So those were the two games that were really, you know. Now the San Francisco game was a little bit different. I think we did get out coached and outplayed. And Janine Garofalo had a really, really great game, and he didn't even really. The whole team really had a great game. He didn't really even have to do much, but managed the game, and he managed it very well. Sold a lot of fake hand jobs up the middle, and sold a lot of passes, and gave hand jobs up the middle. He was really good. I was very impressed and upset at that game. But what really troubled me is I didn't hear shit from our media that next day. After they literally handed that fucking game to Seattle Seahawks, it took the Detroit game to rehash all the fucking bad calls that we have, because everybody just kind of thinks that, well, the Browns are bad, so they get penalties all the time. And these are usually people that don't watch the games. They'll take the wrong analytics and go, 20 penalties. You know, that's it. It's going to lose you the game. Of course it is, man. If you ref us the fuck out of a game, of course we're going to lose, because they'll tip you into bad play, basically. And that's what my analytical theory is based on, is, you know, if you run two good plays and they both get called back, that third play probably isn't going to work out so good for